Welcome to What's Your Story? I'm your host, Sherita Williams, and today my guest is an artist. Her name is Judy MaBardy. Judy, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's a blessing to be here.
Judy, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Currently, I'm a graphic designer and illustrator, artist, messing around, multimedia kind of artist. And I work with children. I teach middle school and youth group. Um, Very active in my church. Just a servant of the Lord and just really reveling in my purpose as He shows it to me. Yeah, that's
So, who and what inspires you?
well, honestly, the Lord inspires me. Just looking at creation, where creation speaks. So every time I read the Word of God and I read a verse like that, it's like I see a picture in my mind, and next thing I know, I'm sketching. But I wasn't always able to sketch. Yeah, it was always a dream to be able to. But um, yeah, the Lord inspires me. And then my mom, when I was very young, she was a huge inspiration to me just by me seeing she had a few pieces of art. I never knew she was an artist leaning up against the counter, but she never spoke of it. I just remember as a young girl, I was only like 5.5. And I remember asking mom, I says, Mom, who did those beautiful, that beautiful work of art? And she said, I did. And that's all she said. She never talked about it.
Mhm.
But everything in her heart showed in everything that she did. You know what I mean? That motivation as she came to know the Lord, it just showed in so many things. So she's been a huge inspiration. And also my cheerleader, but she's been gone for a few years now. So it was a heartbreak to lose her. But every time I move forward and I do another piece of art, I just imagine her smile. Um, because I remember how much it blessed her to see me just keep pressing forward um, and just giving art to different people and seeing their responses. So it was
So,
art.
Judy, what were some pivotal moments from your childhood that helped shape you?
Um, I'm really grateful that my childhood was not super easy. It was filled with a lot of strain and tension and heartache because my mom was always very, very sick. I would come home from school and the ambulance was either just leaving or she was in the hospital. And our big event on Saturdays was to go to the hospital and wave to her from the window. Um, and then as I grew up, she was, a little bit more able to do things, but still her health was always breaking her down. But she just held tight to the Lord. And again, that was a huge inspiration to me once she came to know the Lord. And she led me to the Lord, which was pretty cool. Um, but those pivotal moments of just knowing that things weren't going to be stable, we'd get moved from different from our grandparents, to stay with our grandparents and different friends while mom was in the hospital and dad could work 3 jobs. Um, so I'm really grateful to God that He used those times to build in compassion um, and to show me that life is not easy. I know it doesn't compare to COVID and all the things that are going on in the world today, but He was preparing me at a very young age to be able to uh, be a comfort, courage, and hope um, messenger, ambassador of Him.
So,
Yeah.
what kind of illness can you tell? Just share a little bit of type illness that your mom had.
Yes. So she had a very serious kidney condition, and she had back issues, and she had bleeding issues. She had a lot of different illnesses. At one point, she was told if she had one more child, she'd never live to see it. But by the grace of God, she did. Um, she Her life was just wrapped in miracle after miracle. Matter of fact, her salvation came uh, as a result of, we had a neighbor who was always talking about God, but mom was, didn't want to hear it. Long story short, mom goes in the hospital. They tell her that she most likely isn't going to survive this surgery. This neighbor came to visit her, left her with a gospel track, and mom gave it a try. And as she's being wheeled away, the words to that track really hit her. And my dad said that he saw such a peace come over her. And she gave her life to the Lord. She was never the same after that. And when the doctor went in to remove the kidney that was the most diseased, he said, "Oh, there's a mistake. It's fine." It's like there's something there cushioning it, and that is actually healthier. So they didn't have to take it out. It was just like I said, one miracle wrapped into another. And again, another huge inspiration. Yeah.
So how did you discover that you were an artist?
Um, that's a pretty cool story. Um, Mom, seeing mom's work, I always, as a child, said, "Oh, I wish I could draw." And I couldn't. I literally couldn't. But I would watch her. She'd do sketches when she's on the phone. And I'm like, wow, this is so pretty. So I thought it was just a child dream. And as I got older and I kept trying to do art, I knew I kept hearing voices from teachers and different ones that I wouldn't be able to do art, or I wasn't an artist. And I kind of held to them until one day I had this amazing moment where I was so sick. We didn't know how I was going to get better. We didn't even know what I had, but I was so sick. And the Lord just spoke to me and he says, "Can I use you?" I don't, out of the blue. "Can I use you to share my heart through the writings and the drawings that I give to you?" And I was like, whoa. I kept saying, "But how? But how?" Because at that point I wasn't an artist. So I still didn't put two and two together that he was going to suddenly just pour out his spirit on me and guide my drawings and writings to be what he wants them to be. And that's how it all started to come together. It was just amazing. So I said, I I just thought it was just for me at first, that I was seeing certain drawings, and then I ended up giving one to somebody, and that's a story in itself. It was absolutely beautiful, and seeing their response confirmed in my heart that that's what I should be doing.
Mhm.
So wow, I was just blown away.
So when you gave this gift to someone, did that reveal to you at that time that's what you needed to be doing?
Yes, because I had made a sketch. It was unusual. Let me tell you, it was a cross with bent arms, and the cross had a face on it. And you would think, "Oh, that's sacrilegious," but it wasn't in the message that it was portraying. And it said two words, "For you," on it. And I was walking with my friend. At this time I was in my first year of college. We were walking the red light district, I think it was, of Maryland at the time. And we wanted to tell someone about Jesus. I had forgotten I had that picture in my back pocket. And so we're walking the street, and then I came up to a bouncer. And I'm like, "Oh Lord, he's huge." But he had this broken expression on his face. I couldn't resist. So I pull the picture out, I give it to him, as shy as I am, and I go, I said, "The Lord had me draw this for you." And right on it, it says "For you." I had no idea. When I watched his response and the brokenness, and we got to share a little bit about the Lord with him, it was a witness of my heart. It was like two and two. God put two and two together and said, "See, what I give to you, I want you to use to share my heart in the most unusual of places, or wherever. It's just as I was obedient, he just used them. And so I started doing it more regularly. And then I ended up in 9 bookstores. I was doing all the orders for 9 bookstores. But selling it wasn't the thing. It was getting it out there. You know, it was learning how God wanted me to reach as many people as I could with his message. So it got to be exciting. 18 hours a day, no problem. You know, it was great.
So, Judy, did you do marketing, or did God just begin to open the doors for you for your
Yeah,
ministry to
he
come
just
forward?
did it all himself. I'm not kidding. I had no background in that kind of thing at all. And I just went to a Christian bookstore at that time, and I just had this little what do you call it, 3-ring binder. And I just showed a couple of things. He says, yeah, I'll take that, I'll take that, I'll take that. Next thing I knew, I was in 9 stores, all me on a home printer, making everything from my hand, you know. Then I eventually taught myself graphic design, and on it went. So um but the most treasured moment I'll never forget is I made it to a show in Tennessee. And I'm like, I kept hearing these, but you don't belong here. These guys are big wheels. These guys are like well established artists. But I just went out of, I felt the Lord's leading, and I put a loose leaf notebook with all my sketches in it. So you could pick a frame and have it, you know, put. And as the people were coming to the table, I had teenagers, I had older people, I had people from all walks of life. They're flipping through this 3 notebook, and they're like telling me their whole life story, how this picture means so much to them because it says this and that. And we had tears, we had laughter, we had all kinds of experiences that I knew God was speaking through them. I didn't have to do anything, just stand there and open the book. So it's been an amazing journey. And, you know, it's just so great to be able to share it. Yeah.
Well, we're going to take a break and hear from our sponsor, Swing Into the Dream. And if you would like to be a guest on our show, please contact me, Sherita Williams, at 154gmail.com, or you can go to our website, WYTV7.org. Stay tuned.
Swing Into Their Dreams Foundation presents the Golf Tournament of the Year, raising scholarships for aspiring National Golf Club in Milton, Georgia. The inaugural HBCU Swing Into Their Dreams Charity Golf Tournament. Registration and gourmet continental breakfast begins at 8 a.m. and shotgun at 10 a.m. Award reception follows. Come enjoy a day of jazz, mimosa, cigars, cash bar, silent auction, and more. For more information, contact 770-686-7148. Their dreams. Don't miss it.
We're back, and we'd like to thank our sponsor, Swing Into the Dream, and we have Judy MaBardy here with us today. She is an inspiring artist and a green card specialist. She does custom art and painting that's from a Christian point of view. Judy, can you tell us a little bit about the art that's behind you?
Yes. This one in particular was one of my very first paintings. And this was done for, it was an art show to help draw attention and raise funds for different organizations that were dealing with human trafficking and trying to stop children being sold, because Boston is a really, really hot spot, and that's where I'm from. So this was on purposely not showing all of her face, because, you know, you just want to use your imagination that there are children all over the world that are being trafficked, and it's heart-wrenching. It's really hard to even talk about, but it is our reality. And from what I'm told, the United States is the one providing most of the kids for other countries. So we wanted to get on top of that. There's so many Christian artists that are on top of that and trying to fundraise as much as possible for those situations.
So tell us about some more of your art behind you.
Yes. So this one, I don't know if you can see it. It has two birds going up into the heavens. One is following the other. That was my second acrylic painting that I ever did. And it just came to me, but it's nothing spectacular. It has no words on it. I'm really waiting to be inspired with what words are supposed to go with that or whatever else is supposed to be added to it. I just moved in this office recently, so I haven't even really decorated yet. But this is one of my favorites. I don't know if you can see it. This is Let There Be Light, when God said, "Let there be light." And this is, if you're up close, you can see layers and layers of color as creation happened, and light, and God created light, separating it from the darkness. It was a pretty fun painting to do, but I mostly do art that has children in it as well. I had a coloring book that went pretty much into 6 different countries, and I've been a published writer 4 times now, which is pretty fun. And I got a poem that from my very, very beginnings that God gave me, and that was my first publication in New York.
So what is the name of the publication so that we can purchase it?
Well, I was going to say, for anyone who does want to write in, I had 50 of them written up on a card. Because this poem, it really reached me deep, for it talks about healing that we all need. And I can mail one to people who wanna, if anyone wants to get in touch with me, I'd love to be able to send them one. But this was a radio station in New York. So I won the contest and I got published in a book that is a book of poems. And yeah, so that was my first publication, which was pretty great. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your greeting card line.
It's called Pop Heart Greetings. And here's an example. I don't know if you can see it. So I hand do the designs, graphic design. Then the inside, I make it a pocket so that you can put a gift in if you want, or add an added note. And then I make it dimensional on the inside. And again, it's these are all original lyrics, or I guess you would call them prose, if they're poems. And any art that I do, I'm just bragging on God, because he's asked me to give that comfort, courage, hope theme through everything I do. And it's like his stamp on it all. And that's part of my my logo is to have a gift. I don't know if you can see it, but my logo is actually a package right here that is animated. And in his hand is the North Star, which is, the morning star. And above the morning star are 3 small stars: comfort, courage, and hope. But he's the unspeakable gift representative. So
if we want to purchase some of your gift cards, how can we purchase them? And are your gift cards, are they custom?
Yes, so you can have them, because I do them for businesses where you can have your brand on it. You can have, or you can have them personalized, or you can just have a box set, or you can buy it individually. And my website is myinspirationalgifts.com, which is kind of easy to remember. But yes, and if you have any question, if you need anything personalized or whatever, just send me an email, jm@myinspirationalgifts.com. And if yeah, if you need, I do things for Sunday schools. I have coloring books, coloring sheets. I have, so it's gotten very broad over time, which I'm very grateful to God for. And I'll keep doing it as long as He wants me to.
So what kind of gifts do you have in your shop?
I have necklaces. I have shadow boxes with the scripture verse on them. Um, I have, I call them inspirational blooms. I make these beautiful roses, and in the center is a message, an inspirational message. You pull that out, and they come two different ways. They come one with a on top of like an upside down wine glass um, with the message inside, or one that's just a rose that you just send to someone. It doesn't, I usually ship it in a box, but you can have your own message in it or the message that it comes in. So they call it inspirational blooms and greeting cards and all that stuff. I'm just starting to put things into my shop online, but I'm also on print on demand. So when you go on my website, there's a click for Zazzle, and a lot of my designs I've downloaded to be on products. But again, I just want to brag on God, because I was at a place where I thought my health was just, I was done, and God just did a miracle. And He says, no, you're not done yet. I'm going to give you more to do of spreading my heart and love through the writings and drawings. And so here we are, still plugging away.
Well, I think that's beautiful. So tell our viewers how they can get in contact with you and get some of your beautiful cards and some of your beautiful art.
Thank you. Yeah, just go to my inspirational gifts. That's gifts with an S on it, .com. And there's links to take you to wherever you need to go. And if there's something you're looking for, that you're wondering if I have, my email is jm as in Mary at myinspirationalgifts.com. So you're just adding a JM.
Well, Judy, Mama, we would like to thank you for being on What's Your Story. And if you would like to share your story to become our story on What's Your Story, please contact Sherita Williams 154@gmail.com, or you can go to our website, WYTV7.org. Until next time, please let your story become our story on What's Your Story.